Right now on Jamaica News Page tonight, a shocking act of violence in Portmore, St. Catherine. A mother is dead and her daughter injured after a brutal attack inside their Brighton home this morning. We're tracking the latest developments. Also tonight, heartbreak on Valentine's Day as the day turned violent in Kingston. A man is facing multiple serious charges after police say he choked a woman, beat her with a firearm, and robbed her of tens of thousands of dollars in cash. And
on Friday, January 9th, 2026, Damian Dunn, he's a teacher as well as a construction consultant. He was shot and killed in the Garden Pen community of Spanish Town. Now, this murder was the first murder recorded in St. Catherine North for the year 2026, and immediately our detectives commenced investigation into this murder, which led to the arrest of 3 men.
3 men are now charged in the killing of a teacher and construction consultant in Spanish Town. What police say happened coming up. Plus, remembering a civil rights icon.
Wherever you are tonight, you can make it. We must never surrender. America will get better and better. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
Reverend Jesse Jackson has died at age 84, tributes pouring in globally, including from our own government officials. And there is good news tonight, turning pain into purpose, how the sister of a slain police woman is now helping victims of gun violence through a new foundation. Welcome back to Jamaica News Page tonight, news that keeps you connected to what's happening across Jamaica. And we're powered by viewers just like you. We've got special rewards just for you. When you become a Jamaica News Page member, you'll unlock these special rewards you love, including a loyalty badge next to your name in the comments, shoutouts for your birthday, anniversaries, other special moments, and just so much more. Joining is easy. Just click subscribe, then click join, and choose to become a full star or full elite member right now. That's it, simple and quick. A link to join has been posted in the comments. Please leave a comment so we can welcome you with a shout out. Thank you for joining us. Daisy McNeil 4357. Jamaica News Page tonight starts right now. We begin with breaking news. Gunfire erupted in the parking lot of the corporate area traffic court on Melbourne Road today, sending customers scrambling for safety. Sources indicate that a man reportedly entered the court compound, brandished a firearm, and opened fire at a woman. The woman is said to have run inside the courthouse seeking safety. The gunman reportedly fled the scene in a motor vehicle before police arrived. No injuries have been reported. Preliminary information suggests the incident may be linked to ongoing disputes over alleged extortion fees connected to parking in the area. Court operations were reportedly disrupted following the shooting, with proceedings adjourned. In a subsequent statement, the Court Administration Division confirmed that night court sessions at the facility have been suspended for the remainder of the week. At the time of the incident, reports indicate there was no formal security presence outside the courthouse, only a watchman. It is understood that several judges, many of them women, have since raised concerns about safety at the location. Police investigations are ongoing and will bring you updates as more information becomes available. And developing tonight, the Jamaica News Page understands that a quantity of cocaine has reportedly been discovered at the FedEx location on Halfway Tree Road in St. Andrew. Sources indicate that a detective attached to the Firearms and Narcotics Investigative Division FNID received intelligence suggesting there was an attempt to export the illegal drug through the courier facility.
So, scores of police officers are here outside the FedEx building along Halfway Road, 40 Halfway Road to be exactly. Now, the police swooped down on this property just behind me about 45 minutes ago and went straight into the building. Now, currently, some staff are currently standing inside the parking lot, and there are other staff inside the building who are unable to go in or out at this time.
Investigators were reportedly initially denied access to the premises. However, after gaining entry, a search was conducted and the suspected cocaine was discovered. The exact quantity of the drug has not yet been confirmed. We will continue to follow this developing story and bring you updates as they become available. And now to a tragic incident in Portmore, St. Catherine. A mother was killed and her daughter injured during an attack at their home in Brayton earlier this morning. The identities of the victims have not yet been released. Reports indicate that the assault was allegedly carried out by a man believed to be of unsound mind. The injured woman was rushed to hospital for treatment, and up to news time, her condition is unknown. The incident occurred shortly after 9 a.m., and police are now conducting investigations into the matter.
The person who is alleged to have done the chopping up lives in the community, but him live in the bushes by the hillside to Britain Phase 1. And these persons have been good Samaritans. They assist him by feeding him on a regular basis. And so the whole community is wondering what would have caused him to act this way against them. The government need to come up with a clear policy of how to deal with persons of unsound mind. Because when you report it to the police send you to Bellevue. When you go to Bellevue, they send it to the police. The government need to have trained persons who can handle these cases, because when the police try to intervene, most of the time that person becomes a deceased.
Valentine's Day ended in violence for one woman after a man allegedly attacked her and robbed her of more than $90,000 during a late-night incident in Kingston. 35-year-old Christopher Chambers, otherwise called Zeeks of Waltham Park Road, Kingston 13, has been charged following the incident, which reportedly occurred on Saturday, February 14. Chambers faces multiple charges, including assault at common law, robbery with aggravation, possession of a prohibited weapon, using a firearm to commit a felony, unlawful wounding, and assault occasioning bodily harm. According to reports from the Denham Town Police, about 10:35 p.m., Chambers allegedly approached the woman along West Street, grabbed her, and squeezed her throat. Investigators say he then brandished a firearm and used it to strike her several times, leaving her with visible injuries. Police further alleged that he took the woman's bag containing $71,000 in cash, along with items valued at approximately $20,000 before fleeing the scene. Members of the public reportedly assisted the woman and accompanied her to the police station, where a report was made. An investigation was launched immediately, and Chambers was taken into custody and formally charged the following day. His court date is now being finalized. The St. Catherine North Criminal Investigation Branch has charged 3 men in connection with the January 9 murder of Damian Dunn, a teacher and construction consultant.
Now, on Friday, January 9th, 2026, Damian Dunn, he's a teacher as well as a construction consultant. He was shot and killed in the Garden Pen community of Spanish Town. Now, this murder was the first murder recorded in St. Catherine North for the year 2026, and immediately our detectives commenced investigation into this murder, which led to the arrest of 3 men. Now, the 3 men were charged with the following offenses: murder, possession of a prohibited weapon, conspiracy to murder, being a part of a criminal organization, as well as using a firearm to commit a scheduled offense. The men are Javarn Swimmer, otherwise known as Razor. He is from License District in the parish of St. Thomas. The other man is Wilder Edwards, also known as Twin or Rolex. He is from License in the parish of St. Thomas, and he also frequents the Westchester community. The third man is Mr. Tyreek Fennell, also known as Six. He is from a Palmer's Cross address in the parish of Clarendon.
Police allege that about 7:52 p.m., Mr. Dunn was driving his 2017 Suzuki Grand Vitara along Gordon Boulevard in Gordon Penn when he was intercepted by the accused men traveling in a Toyota Axia motor car. Investigators say Swimmer and Fennell exited the vehicle armed with handguns and opened fire at Dunn while he sat behind the steering wheel. The men reportedly then re entered the vehicle, which was allegedly driven away by Edwards. Mr. Dunn later succumbed to his injuries in hospital.
The St. Catherine North Police is committed to maintaining law and order, the preservation of the peace, as well as to protect property and to preserve life. Now, in doing so, our hardworking operatives continue to try as best as practicable to prevent crimes from happening. But when they do, our hardworking detectives will conduct thorough investigations in order to bring closure within a reasonable time to these crimes when they do occur.
Meanwhile, police in the St. Catherine North Division have recovered a stolen motor vehicle valued at approximately $1.6 million and arrested several suspects, including a student, following an early morning operation on Monday. Reports indicate that about 5:45 a.m. on February 16, officers acting on intelligence intercepted a Toyota Probox near the Angels Toll Plaza exit in Spanish Town. The vehicle, which reportedly belongs to a security officer, had been stolen in the Sligoville area. The identities of those arrested are being withheld pending further investigations. A St. Andrew man charged under the Firearms Act in 2023 has been sentenced to life imprisonment following his conviction in the gun court. The convicted man, Lion Guzmore of Cedar Valley, Red Hill, St. Andrew, received a sentence when he appeared before the court on Friday, February 13. Guzmore was taken into custody after a police operation in the Cypress Hall area of Red Hills on November 14, 2023. During the operation, officers searched premises he occupied and reportedly discovered a .38 revolver along with 2.38 cartridges concealed in the ceiling. He was subsequently arrested and charged with possession of a prohibited weapon and unauthorized possession of ammunition. Following a trial, Guzmore was found guilty and sentenced to life imprisonment for unauthorized possession of ammunition with eligibility for parole after serving 15 years. He was also sentenced to 19 years and 9 months for possession of a prohibited weapon with parole eligibility after 10 years. Both sentences are to run concurrently. And now to news overseas. Veteran United States civil rights activist Reverend Jesse Jackson, one of the most influential black voices in modern American history, has died at age 84. His family confirmed that he passed away peacefully Tuesday morning, surrounded by loved ones.
Wherever you are tonight, you can make it. We must never surrender. America will get better and better. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
A Baptist minister and prominent civil rights leader since the 1960s, Jackson marched alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and played a key role in fundraising and advocacy for the civil rights movement. Over more than 6 decades, he became known as a powerful orator, mediator in international conflicts, and champion for racial equality, economic justice, and political empowerment. Jackson twice sought the Democratic Party's presidential nomination in the 1980s, becoming the most prominent black presidential contender before Barack Obama's historic election in 2008. He was also present at several defining moments in the struggle for racial justice, including the period surrounding King's assassination in 1968 and more recently standing with the family of George Floyd in 2021. Born Jesse Lewis Burns on October 8, 1941 in Greenville, South Carolina, he later adopted the surname of his stepfather, Charles Jackson. Although no cause of death was disclosed, Jackson revealed in 2017 that he had been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. He survived by his wife and 6 children. Here in Jamaica, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness described Jackson as, quote, one of the most positively consequential civil rights leaders of the 20th and 21st centuries, end quote. In a statement, the Prime Minister said Jackson's advocacy for economic and social justice had a global impact and would resonate for generations. He added that humanity owes Jackson a debt of gratitude for his lifelong commitment to equality, justice, and human dignity. The opposition People's National Party has also expressed condolences. Senator Donna Scott Motley, opposition spokesperson on foreign, regional, and diaspora affairs, said Jackson's legacy would endure for generations, describing him as a moral voice in the global fight for justice, equality, and human rights. And before we go tonight, nearly 4 decades after her policewoman sister was killed in the line of duty, Denise Johnston is turning personal tragedy into a mission of healing, supporting victims of gun violence through the Pamela Sunrise Foundation. Johnston has lived through the devastating effects of violence firsthand. She was just 14 years old in 1987 when gunmen invaded her Fairfield Road home and shot her mother. Just 9 months later, her sister, Constable Pamela Johnston, was assaulted and murdered after gunmen boarded a bus in Greendale, becoming the first female police officer in Jamaica killed in the line of duty. Another passenger was also killed in that attack. Johnston says the trauma deeply affected her family for years, leading her on a long journey toward healing. After eventually seeking grief counseling through a Christian ministry and relocating to California, she was inspired to create the Pamela Sunrise Foundation. Launched in December 2024 in both Jamaica and California, the faith based organization provides grief counseling, emotional support, and outreach programs with a special focus on helping children impacted by violence. In a powerful act of forgiveness, last year Johnston met and forgave the daughter of one of her sister's killers after the woman reached out seeking reconciliation. The two have since committed to working together to address the generational impact of violence. Johnson says her goal is to help victims move beyond pain and trauma toward healing, hope, and a renewed sense of purpose. And that's the news on Jamaica News Page tonight, news that keeps you connected to what's happening across Jamaica. And we're powered by viewers just like you. We've got special rewards just for you. When you become a Jamaica News Page member, you'll unlock these special rewards you love, including a loyalty badge next to your name in the comments, shoutouts for your birthday, anniversaries, other special moments, and just so much more. Joining is easy. Just click subscribe, then click join, and choose to become a Fuel Star or Fuel Elite member right now. That's it, simple and quick. A link to join has been posted in the comments. Please leave a comment so we can welcome you with a shout out. Thank you for joining us, Daisy McNeil 4357, and also thank you for watching Jamaica News Page tonight. We'll see you in the comments, and be sure to join us again for more news. From all of us here, good night.